Liverpool have beaten West Ham 2-1 at Anfield to be 6 points away from winning their 20th league title. What a massive season it's been for Liverpool and for Arne Slot. And it was a big result because obviously Fulham last week was a disappointing result for Liverpool. And it kind of opened up the narrative, certainly on Sky Sports, that maybe Arsenal could creep back into the Premier League title race. I never thought that was the case. I think Liverpool had this Premier League title on lock since January, maybe end of January, February. I think it's been as simple as that. They've been absolutely fantastic. I thought they managed the game against West Ham very, very well today. Some individual brilliance. You have to say both Liverpool and West Ham, I think Liverpool are rolling towards the title. West Ham are obviously very, very safe after an early season period with Lopetegui that was absolutely shambolically bad. So both sides really are kind of playing out a game that isn't as dramatic or as important as maybe as it would have been a few months ago. And that being said, it was a fantastic game. I thought Liverpool managed it very, very well. We have to talk about Mohamed Salah. I mean, we talk about him every single week. He was absolutely electric in the game. Now, you're seeing a lot of memes on Twitter that this brand new contract that he's got is going to turn him into Aubameyang after Aubameyang got that juicy contract extension with Arsenal just before Mikel Arteta took over. And I just don't see the correlation at all. And Aubameyang was a great striker, played for some big clubs. But ultimately, Mohamed Salah is a cut above Aubameyang, even in terms of mentality, in terms of who he is as a player, his athleticism, and the fact that he's got this brand new contract. I think just is more about it. Just guarantees his kind of survival, his security at Liverpool, and I think he's going to maintain this level. And we saw it from minute one after the contract extension, his running, his pace. He was giving West Ham a torrid time. And he single-handedly set up Luis Diaz in a way that was outrageous. Talking about Kevin De Bruyne yesterday on the channel, obviously after a very, very big win against Crystal Palace, single-handedly doing things that got Man City back into the game. Again, sometimes you need a few weeks off from the Mohamed Salah kind of popularity train to realise that this guy is so special. He really is. The ball to Luis Diaz on the outside of his left foot is absolutely outrageous. It is Kevin De Bruyne-esque. But sometimes in football, you need that period where I think he has had a flat couple of weeks. Maybe that's down to the build-up of the contract actually getting over the line, being finalised. That makes a lot of sense. It's a big contract for him and his family, for where he is in his kind of career. He's in his 30s. I'm sure it was a lot of nerves and drama around the contract signature. So when it's done, he's now a little bit more free. I think that's an argument you could definitely say. But also Liverpool come off a really difficult few weeks. PSG was bad, and Salah really had a flat game in that performance. And obviously the EFL League Cup final at Wembley against Newcastle as well, where Salah was unable to score yet again in a final from open play. And I'm not bantering, I'm just saying, from a professional point of view for Salah, it would be a little bit frustrating the last couple of weeks for what he wants to achieve. He wants to break records. He wants to get as close as he can to Alan Shearer, the 260 goal mark in the Premier League. And obviously, we're losing the League Cup and the Champions League is going to dip your form a little bit, dip your confidence. And I think we saw the return of this Liverpool machine. And it's important how Liverpool end this season, because going into the start of next season, I firmly believe you can mount a Premier League title challenge at the back end of a previous season. I've seen Man City do it multiple times. I've seen Chelsea sides build into it. You build into the following season how you're going to go about things, the rhythm, the patterns, maybe blooding in new players. I think Liverpool, if they finish the season strong, get close to as 91, 92 points as possible, win the Premier League as early as possible, gives them a great platform for next season, where I really think retaining the Premier League would be an amazing achievement and one of the biggest that they've had in a very, very long time. Winning the league title now is huge for Liverpool. It's a very, very successful season. But going again next season would be something different. Not many sides can retain the Premier League. Guardiola's done it. Ferguson's done it. Arsene Wenger, Arsene Wenger's done it. Mourinho's done it with Chelsea. Liverpool have yet to retain the Premier League. I think it is a big, big season next season as well. But it obviously opened up for Liverpool. It was a beautiful ball, as I said, from Mohamed Salah. But you have to say fair play to West Ham. They approached the game very, very well. I thought Jarrod Bowen was fantastic. Wan-Bissaka's been outrageous from right wing back and at right back at points with Graham Potter. I thought he was very, very dangerous. And Kudus today, Kudus and Bowen operating in little pockets between the midfield, the centre-backs, not having a clear striker, and having this kind of flat five at points where Salah was finding space, Ward-Prowse was finding space in midfield. It was a decent West Ham side today. Created big chances. Again, you look at Alisson, you think Alisson's keeping this Liverpool side not only competitive, but giving them maximum points every single week. Alisson made a huge save from Kudus, tipped one onto the bar. He made a big Jared Bowen save as well. One-on-one, it was a Peter Schmeichel save in the second half. West Ham were more than good enough to shock Liverpool, make it back-to-back losses, which I think would have made this season feel a little bit more flatter. If you're losing at home to West Ham, losing to Fulham away, it would be a little bit frustrating. I think Liverpool have to wrap up the title as soon as possible. Get over the line. They're within 6 points. Put the pressure back on Arsenal. Obviously, drop points against Brentford. Just get it done mathematically as soon as possible. And it allows Liverpool to go again. Obviously, announce Virgil van Dijk's contract as well. And go again at the start of next season, like I've said. But Alisson keeps them in it because they were sleepwalking a little bit. There were some gaps. You see that with the West Ham goal. A simple ball gets played across Van Dijk and Andy Robertson. It's an Andy Robertson own goal. You could argue Van Dijk was in bad positioning, too close together. I'm not sure why they're coming together, the left back and the centre back. A little bit of confusion, a little bit of maybe lack of concentration, and West Ham equalise. But then it's Virgil van Dijk. I'm hearing Roy Keane saying there should be a VAR check on the corner. Not entirely. I don't agree with that. It was a great header from Virgil van Dijk. Gets them back into the winning position. Gets the maximum points, and again inches them closer towards winning the Premier League title. It's going to be a juicy season next season. I think Arsenal will come again strong. Man City is certainly building to come again big next season, no question. And surely the likes of Chelsea, Man United and Spurs won't be as bad as next season. We're going to look now at where the title could be won. It's very interesting. Leicester City away obviously can't be won in this period. But if Arsenal were to lose a couple of games, and we're talking Ipswich away and Crystal Palace at home, particularly if Real Madrid, let's say Real Madrid got back into the game against Arsenal and they knocked Arsenal out of the Champions League, does it completely deflate Arsenal? Does it completely stop them? Ipswich had a great game against Chelsea. Palace, really hard. You know, Liverpool could win the Premier League title against Tottenham at home if Arsenal were to drop maximum points. But we're looking at maybe Chelsea away or even Arsenal at home where it could happen, where that gap of 6 points really becomes materialised. And I think Liverpool winning against Arsenal would be very juicy for Liverpool fans for obvious reasons. But Liverpool, you have to say, very balanced performance from Liverpool. Ultimately, they'll be gutted. They're not in the Champions League quarterfinals, semi-finals. They're a side so good with so much quality about them. I saw a great clip on Sky Sports saying that if Arsenal had Mohamed Salah this season, they'd be winning the Premier League, and that is the golfing quality. I think Liverpool have got 2 or 3 more world-class players than Arsenal, and that's why they're going to win the Premier League this season. And Arsenal are lacking a little bit. They've shown enough quality against Real Madrid to be 3-0 up. Next season is going to be so juicy. It really is. I see Liverpool winning the Premier League title. I'm going to put my money on it. I think it's going to happen against Arsenal at home. I think Arsenal will pick up enough points. I think Arsenal at home, which could be the 11th of May. Can't believe we're even in May. But I think Liverpool will win the Premier League title as early as that. It's going to be a fantastic season next season, I have to say, in the Premier League title race. But Liverpool inching towards 20th Division 1. I'm going to wrap up with that as well. Liverpool, if they give these contracts to Van Dijk, Salah, these guys will be thinking we can surmount the Manchester United trophy haul in league titles in this country. Do not underestimate how big that is. That's as big as someone surpassing Real Madrid's Champions League haul. I'm sure Arsenal fans go on about the amount of FA Cups they've won. That is huge in the history of football in this country, and they can do it within the contract lifespan of Salah and potentially Virgil van Dijk as well. Very significant, big win today. If you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you very soon.